Hello, welcome to this week's episode of the Irish Fantasy Punts. We have upgraded our studio a little bit. We're going to bring you an audio-visual show this weekend, hopefully from now on. So we're going to get a few mixes thrown in every now and then of terrible music, a few sound effects, and Shane making an ass out of himself.
Oh, yes.
Not else new there, really, is there?
Our production.
Oh, well, the sound effects.
So any news from the two boys over the weekend? You didn't do anything major, no? How'd your fantasy weeks go? You weren't playing each other this week, were you?
No. Oh, horrific.
If we were, I'd have won. And I was the second worst player this week.
Oh, yeah, it's pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. Yeah. No one did well this week.
The guy I was playing did well.
I had the Eagles defense and they did class. Other than that, no one. Henry
got back on track with his 22-point week. I was delighted with that. It's a pity everyone else decided to shit the bag. Bar Amon-Ra. Brown. But Amon-Ra stayed, I suppose, some way good, even though he came out of the game for a while. A lot of little injuries this week, I think, for people. Kind of guys checking in and out of games a handy bit, so that kind of upset the week a little bit, didn't it?
Yeah, I think
we have a little news bar as well. Oh. On our little video production, we now have a news bar to tell you about all your ACL injuries.
Oh, one that might not be up because I just seen it come in on Twitter is the good old CMC.
I was wondering how long it would take you to bring that up.
Did not practice today because of his thigh, which is injured.
It's a Wednesday. He's not going to ever practice on a Wednesday.
No one's going to risk him on a Wednesday.
Last week as well, randomly.
I'm telling you now, I said it before the start of the season. Christian McCaffrey is not going to play the full year. End of story. He's not playing. Until they get a quarterback of real quality where they can actually throw the ball and limit his touches, he's not playing the full season. It's not happening.
He's a shadow of the man, anyway.
The old Baker project isn't working well, is it?
No. you can see it this week with the Saints and the Panthers. Like himself and Kamara just so past it. They're just shadows themselves.
They should have went out and the Panthers should have got Kenny Pickett in the draft. That's who I think they should have picked up in the draft. He's not been used behind an absolutely shocking Mitch Trubisky, who stuck in there last Thursday and made a few big throws, but I think that was more receivers doing well than Trubisky doing well. He's awful. I don't know why Tomlin came out today and said he was going to stick with him and that he's improving game to game. And improving game to game. He threw one touchdown week 1. He threw one touchdown week 2, but he threw a pick with that one. And week 3, he didn't throw a touchdown. That's some solid improvement.
That might bring us nicely, and then we'll hop on to our weekend review and go through the heroes of this week.
Oh, legends of the game.
The legends of the game.
Not who I am underneath, but what I do defines me.
See, now we're just going to have terrible sound effects the whole way through that we'll just talk over.
We'll start with... Just because it was the Batman team, we're not talking about DK Metcalf.
We'll start with the quarterbacks. Josh Allen takes his normal place on the very top of the list. 29 fantasy points this week. 25 completions for 294 yards and 2 touchdowns. I didn't realize Justin Herbert played as well, though. He had 28 fantasy points with 304 yards and 2 touchdowns. I didn't realize that happened at all. Is that correct?
Dude, are you looking at week 3 stats?
I think you're looking at the wrong one.
Yeah, you're definitely looking at the wrong thing because Lamar Jackson was the top QB this week with 47.4 points.
I see what happened. I see what happened here. It went for instead of stats, it went for projections, which is absolutely no.
So the production quality's gotten better and Dad's gotten worse. We're relying too much on technology.
It's a graph, you know. One gets better, one gets worse.
Yeah, basically brought us back down to earth.
meet in the middle and be
all we
fine.
needed.
Yeah,
And it literally only took 5 minutes.
The worst thing is it won't pop up what I wanted to pop up now either. Here it is, game day leaders. Lamar Jackson, 47.42 points with 218 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, 11 carries for 107 yards and 1. So he's good at football. Followed closely by Jalen Hurts, who was actually 14 points off the pace. Trevor Lawrence had a tasty little day with 31 points. Joe Burrow kind of redeemed himself, and then Josh Allen bringing up number 5. Basically, the name that really kind of strikes me here is Trevor Lawrence. So we actually expect to see Trevor Lawrence take a step forward now.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence has really performed well. I think Christian Kirk has really helped him along. Having a guy like Zay Jones there, who he seems to have real good chemistry with. He's getting a good target share. Seems to be really helping them. And the fact that Robinson has come back in and they have Etienne for passing downs, and also Etienne seemed to. I watched a good bit of that game. He seems to have a good bit of burst about him. He actually looked good on week 3 for me. He passed the eye test. Now, I know he didn't do much, but he has flashes there. Like, I wouldn't be afraid actually having the team. I wouldn't be afraid of him playing, but fantasy-wise, I'd still be staying away from him. But Trevor Lawrence, for me, is a very intriguing option to pick up if he is on the waiver wire. And maybe in a redraft, be looking towards him next year, depending on what they do in the offseason. But if Trevor Lawrence is in my team, I'm happy right now. I think he's only going to go from strength to strength.
do you think we can start picking up Jags now? Like,
Yeah.
if Trevor Lawrence is definitely going to be playing that well, like, it's not something we've been able to do. I don't know, but like, it's not something we've been able to do for years. But like, and it feels weird that even today, I was looking at the Jags, and it obviously wasn't Kirk, but it was one of their, maybe it was Jones, maybe it was Jones. I was looking at him, I was like, no, I just can't in good conscience pick him up. I was like, I just don't know who I'd actually drop for the man. Like, but like, if Lawrence is going to be playing like this, it's not week in, week out, but he's on an upward curve at the moment. Like, we watched him do this in our 2-3 weeks. Like, all those boys come into play. And get the waiver.
I will say that myself today in our league, I went in and picked up Zay Jones today for the simple fact that I was looking. The fact that we were playing a half PPR for anyone who's listening, we play a half PPR, and the main thing I've started to look at in half PPR is wide receivers target share. I'm not too fussed on yardage and that, because that law is obviously going to vary week to week. The good guys are obviously going to get it more regular. But if you're looking for second string wide receivers, third string wide receivers, just to fill out your bench, to have a decent rotation player coming in for you, like, I'd be looking at guys like Zay Jones right now, just for the simple fact his target share is the highest on that team. He is getting more targets than Christian Kirk, who's the number 1 guy. And Trevor Lawrence is starting to play at a level that is really good. But Zay Jones' target share is up so high, and he is getting, I think his lowest yardage in 3 weeks is 45 yards. So he went like for 45 yards on 10 receptions. So anyone playing PPR knows that's a good score for the week. So they're the kind of guys now that I'm looking at, and Lawrence is passing it so much. I think it's a real Dougie P thing. We seen this at Philadelphia when he went there. They still haven't been able to establish a running game since Dougie P left, because he didn't have one while he was there. And I think the fact that he has Robinson there now, and he is implementing the running game more, it's opening up things a lot more for Lawrence, because they're not relying on Etienne, who's getting stuffed. They have Robinson back, and he can head down north to south runner, and he can just plow through guys. He can find them little gaps between the tackles. So
quickly,
for me,
I'm just going to jump in quickly there. We have a question that popped up. Should I drop Chase Claypool for Treylon Burke 16 team league? Yeah, you just do that straight up.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. No one's arguing about that.
Burks is only going to go better, and he will be the wide receiver 1 and by the end of the year, that team.
Move on to running back heroes then. Herbert, when he took over from Montgomery, put in a massive shift. What was it, 157 yards for 2 touchdowns and 2 receptions for 12 yards. Jay Willie had 23 points because DeAndre Swift stopped playing. Derrick Henry returned. Cordero Patterson is breaking all of the fantasy laws by just being constantly good. And Saquon Barkley has reestablished that he is back from the dead with another 20-point game.
No, he's not.
It's a pretty good week for Saquon.
It really is. maybe
Singletary and Robinson. Sorry, Jamie.
I think Barkley is back. I know I know what you're saying. He could go down injured. But he's played so well the last few weeks. Anytime I've seen him, he just looks the Barkley of old. He looked so ragged last year. This year he looks up for it. He looks fit. He looks strong. He looks like a running back you want. The running back why you drafted him so high. Massive gamble if you drafted him that high. I was never going to draft him, but he's paying you off at the moment. It's 3 good weeks. Three consistently good weeks.
I think he is actually the number 1 running back at the moment.
He is, yeah.
I think in fantasy, I think he is the number 1 runner. But let's not fool ourselves. Look at who Barkley's played. Look at his first 3 games. They are awful, bar the Cowboys, because we were amazing. And we beat them. And the defense is actually good. But if you look at the Cowboys game, what happened with that? They just came after Danny Jones. Danny Dimes. They just went after Danny Dimes. Barkley was allowed a bit of running room. And they were backing off him a little bit. He did have some good runs, but I'm not overly impressed by Barkley from what I've seen from him. Yeah, he looked good. He didn't look like the Barkley of old. He looked solid, decent top 10 running back, but I still don't think he'll last. I think he's going to get injured again, man. You just don't recover from them injuries as a running back. It doesn't happen.
No, but he's got some favorable matchups now, like Bears next week, Packers the week after. Fancy him there for the next 2 weeks at least.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, look, I might go with him against the Bears, but again, the Bears.
That's shocking.
The Bears, like that Herbert, Herbert week winning the running back of the week this week. They went to him because Fields just couldn't do anything. He was their only option, and it just worked. Again, this week is a mess for the running backs. I will say Cordero Patterson, Derrick Henry coming back. It'll be interesting to see can he stay there. But for me, Patterson seems to be the only guy who's consistent enough at the moment in the league to be getting top 5 nearly every week.
Yeah, I suppose.
Ooh.
Dan, you're muted.
Apologies. We have a Barkley-related question here. Basically, this guy is giving up Barkley. Oh, no, so he gets Barkley, Deontay Johnson, and Josh Jacobs, and he's giving up Eckler, Debo, and Pierce. I think I prefer the Eckler, Debo, and Pierce side. I think he can cancel this trade this evening. I think that's basically what he's saying here. I don't know where you two fall on that. So it's Barkley, Deontay, and Josh Jacobs for Eckler, Debo, and Pierce from the Texans.
I'll be all Eckler, Debo, Pierce, yeah. 100%.
Yeah, I'd be the same. Pierce, you've a nice up and coming star in Pierce. Eckler, solid, and Debo just does magic things when he gets the ball in his hands.
Mm-hmm. It's quieter this year, but it's not been too bad.
They'll figure him out. Debo will be a superstar at the end of the year. He'll be top 5 guy at the end of the year.
He's only going to get better with Garoppolo there, Garoppolo down. I thought Trey Lance would have took money. Took signs off him. But no, I think now with Garoppolo back, Debo's back in the frame.
We'll move on to the wide receiver heroes. Then we had Devonta Smith putting up a good game. Everyone was expecting AJ Brown, but Devonta Smith was the guy who showed up. Hollins for Vegas. I saw him in some DFS lineups, like projected lineups at the start of the week, but I didn't put him in any, unfortunately. Hollywood had a big week because he's the only one who was catching the ball, him and Dortch. Amari Cooper, Zay Jones, Shane's boy there. Olave having a massive game. The rookie's really coming on. And then we'll end it with CD Lamb there with 18.7 points. It's some good names in there. If you were like Devonta Smith, Hollins, Amari Cooper, Zay Jones, they're not really guys that you would have thought would have been having massive weeks. Even Hollywood.
Yeah, it shows you what week it was doesn't it? Guys like that are that high up, and we're only talking how crap Amari Cooper was last week.
Oh, wait.
Shane
Yeah.
Yes, I just thought to give you props. I just thought to give you the props. He was, to be fair, he was playing at home. Shane said it. And he was bang on.
That's why I'm not afraid.
You also said Devonta Smith was useless. And he's
I was going up to that. But like, again, Devonta Smith isn't there. Like, if Devonta Smith goes on the block in the morning, are you trading for him?
No.
Yeah. So there we go. Like, he had a blip of a week this week, we'll say. If he does it again next week and the week after that, even if Devonta Smith gets 12 points, over 12 points for the next 2 weeks, then I'll admit, I was wrong about Devonta. But I stand by my Devonta claim. I still don't think he's going to be great this year. AJ Brown's going to take up way too much of that target share. And Amari Cooper does well when he plays at home. That's just the pain of being a Cowboys fan, knowing that.
Would you trade away Singletary and Ertz to go and get Breece Hall?
Yes.
I like Singletary.
Yeah, but he also has Pitts in his team already. So if he has Pitts, I know Ertz is playing really well at the minute, but I would definitely go and get Breece Hall for Singletary and Ertz. I would make that trade.
Yeah,
have the Jets really made that switch yet?
Look, Carter's still getting on the pitch. I still think he has a role to play in the team, but Breece Hall is making the most of his carries. That's the way I'll put it.
What do you think?
He looks more impactful, I think. Yeah. I think anytime you see Breece Hall, like I don't think any of us really thought he was going to be that impactful so early in the season. I thought that Breece Hall would take over later on in the season, week 8, 9. But even from last week, he seemed to be really. You'd watch Red Zone, you see the highlights of the Jets. Breece Hall wasn't Michael Carter. I think he really is going to take over that backfield sooner rather than later.
We'll move on to the tight end heroes then. Mark Andrews had a massive day. 89 yards, 2 touchdowns. David Njoku was dominant as well. He's still sitting on waiver wires. Travis Kelce did Travis Kelce things. This Woods guy, who I'd never seen before, got 2 touchdowns. That's why he's up here.
Hey, that's the Indianapolis way.
And then Tyler Conklin had a big day. And then Kyle Pitts absolutely dominated with 87 yards, but no touchdowns, unfortunately. But at least that's better signs from Pitts, because there was a lot of worry in the streets there.
There's one more guy, the 7th place tight end, Dan. I think he deserves a mention. He's been in 3 weeks now. He's been up in the top 10 for 3 weeks.
Will Disley.
Yeah, hey, I'm not a big fan of Disley, but he's Geno Smith's favorite guy.
I think another guy here is Tyler Conklin, who is kind of going under everyone's radar that no one's talking about, but he seems to be a very favorite target there at the Jets. Like, he's doing very good points for the last 3 weeks for a Jets tight end. A guy that
we have Zach Wilson coming back
this week, so you don't know, like, is Wilson going to target him as much? Maybe not, but for looking for a tight end, I think Conklin's your man.
I have serious Garrett Wilson fears over Zach Wilson coming back.
I'm kind of happy because I have Elijah Moore, so I think Elijah Moore will now become the wide receiver 1 properly.
Oh, God. Okay, that brings us nicely through all the heroes, because we do not talk about kickers.
Greg the leg, top the list, man. Shout him out.
Yeah, have a good day. I don't know what the hell he did.
He kicked a good few field goals for the Jets, didn't
he? He did actually. He was the top kicker of the week.
Yeah.
So my kicker of the week. Go on, take it, Craig.
That brings us on nicely then to our zeros of the week.
Oof.
Hell, son, you're about as useful as a cock-flavored lollipop.
I like that one.
Good old Patches.
Not the cock flavored lollipop. Hang on.
So we'll start nicely on Carson Wentz. Everyone who believed in Carson Wentz and finally put him in the lineups after 2 big weeks, you got burned. Russell Wilson still sucks.
You deserved it.
Yeah, really, like.
That's your own fault.
Russell Wilson still sucks. Jimmy Garoppolo proved that he did not deserve the starting job in the first place. Sorry, Shane. Matt Stafford did not do anything against the Cardinals. That wasn't great. Davis Mills, you're going to have weeks like that with Davis Mills. And then Kyler and Baker, the number 1 picks from Oklahoma, both terrible. But the Kyler thing is Cliff. Like, he's just not letting him run.
Yeah, I'm getting very sick of Kyler at this point. Like, I really am. I'm really thinking about trading away. But I think his value's gone. To be quite honest, but I think if I trade away week 1, yeah, I'd probably get something for him. But I don't even know what I'd get for him now.
I'd still hold Kyler, but I think
there's nothing else there, so I have to.
Yeah, but Dan keeps saying it every week that Kyler's been held back by Cliff, and I completely agree. But when D-Hop comes back, it's just going to get way better. It's going to get, your points are going to go through the roof when D-Hop comes back. So I wouldn't worry about Kyler's bad start. It's going to get better. It's a simple fact.
Well, if you just give me Amon St. Brown from now, we'd be all happy.
No,
wouldn't we?
you can have one of the cock-flavored lollipops if you think you're getting him.
Would you trade CMC for
yes.
Jamar Chase in a
Can you finish the question first?
CMC Jamar Chase in a 16-team league? I wouldn't in a 16-team league. It's too hard to get running backs when.
Well, hang on a minute. Current running backs he has are CMC, Saquon, Kareem Hunt, and Naheem Hines and Madison. Naheem Hines and Madison, you can write them off, basically. Well, Madison does do a few good things.
Yeah.
Saquon and Kareem Hunt, I think you can get behind that. And I think with Jimmy G in the lineup, you could probably move on Ayuk in the next week or two. You'll probably get some sort of a running back for him if you move him in the next couple of weeks. So I would make the trade because CMC isn't going to be around till the end of the season, and Jamar Chase is.
No, I'm not doing that trade. It's too hard in the 16-team league. There's no running backs anywhere.
Yeah, not with that speed of running backs. I don't think you are. Like you just have just lads on injuries and all the way there. Once the CMC goes, Saquon, you said it 10 minutes ago, Saquon could go down next week, and then who are you left with? Kareem Hunt is your running back.
Yeah, but that's what I said. I just said trade Ayuk and get another running back. You won't get, obviously, you're not going to get a star quality running back. All right, then. Well, if someone is hurting for running back and you want to trade CMC away, trade off for Chase, but see what running backs do. They might have some decent bit of a running back there. Get one back in return. Or get another half-decent player with Chase and use that with Ayuk as leverage. It's not rocket science here. It's trading. Wheeling and dealing.
Yeah,
I would imagine everything to me is rocket science.
I don't think CMC has that much value anymore, though. I think that's the problem. Like, you're probably just getting Chase and that's it.
Yeah, it's
just so shocked on the screen. Like,
he's so shocked he froze.
He's so angry.
We don't like Shane's opinion. We just make the internet feed freeze. He can't say it anymore.
He's so angry about McCaffrey. He just goes,
Yeah, I killed my internet first.
Yeah, it just filters you if you say anything that the internet doesn't like. It's like, oh my God, McCaffrey. Okay. So then who sucked at the running back position? Any big names this week that anyone knows off the top of their head?
Jonathan Taylor. Aaron Jones.
Jonathan Taylor is kind of becoming a bit of a annoyance for me. I want him to be getting more points now. Travis Etienne's also seeming to lose the battle to James Robinson, who looks an absolute beast. James Conner, he kind of sucked it up. DeAndre Swift got injured. That kind of hurt a lot of people. Kareem Hunt, but like Kareem Hunt, you're going to get that. Austin Eckler with another 9. Leonard Fournette with a 10. Like it was difficult in the street. Najee again with an 11. It wasn't a great week for running backs, really, was it? Some lads really outdid themselves, and then other lads kind of just completely kills you.
Like I had Devonta Williams there as well, and he had 7.5 points. Like that was my first round draft in our league, which is just very disappointing because I'm very sick of the Broncos at this point. Like those Broncos should be much better than they are. They're just an absolute fucking joke at this point. Like there's no way Devonta Williams should be down there. Like he's too good. He's just too good. Like
wide receivers that hurt you: Rashad Bateman, Allen Robinson. No one's still playing Mooney at this stage, are they?
Like you're just naming
who
off.
Played
my
him
team.
in the first place. Yeah, who played him in the first place? Like, come on.
Tyreek Hill with a nice 4 after his massive week.
Yeah, but
you're
again,
literally naming off my fantasy teams at this point.
that Tyreek Hill Waddle, that is going to flip flop as the season goes on. Like we saw last year, to his relationship with Waddle, it was really good. Waddle got really good towards the end of the year. Like we knew he was going to kick off good again this year. It's going to take Tua a bit of time getting used to Tyreek Hill, and once he does, it's going to be very much a 50-50. It's Russell Wilson in Seattle all over again. Do you take Lockett this week? Do you take Metcalf this week? Who you got? Do you know, that's the situation they're in Miami now, and it's not a bad one to be in. Like, look, some weeks you're going to hit that 20-30 point mark with them. Some weeks you're going to get 4, but it's not like you're going to get 0 every week. You know, they will give you something, and it's worth having them there for the simple fact that one week they're going to win you the game by themselves.
Yeah.
Tight ends that kind of hurt you, like most tight ends, you kind of put them in and expect to lose points anyway. So Darren Waller was the only one that you would have expected a bit more out of, really. But it's hard to know what the Raiders are kind of doing. They seem like they're stuttering a little bit.
A little bit. I don't think they're stuttering anymore, man. I think they fell over.
They're on the floor.
I don't see it looks like their playoff hopes are gone.
Well, like, you went out in the offseason and you got the best wide receiver. Like, he is the best wide receiver in the league, Devonta Adams. You went out and you got Devonta Adams, and you've tried to force feed him the ball to win games, and it has not worked because teams double cover Devonta Adams. And Derek Carr is not Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, to be young and a Raiders fan. Okay, we'll move on from the heroes and the zeros because I think we've kind of reviewed week 3 enough. We're gonna look at the trade of the week that we saw in Dynasty this week. Then,
oh, boom!
Ooh. Bet that snack pack's pretty good. Want to trade me the rest of it for this banana? You know how badly I can beat you, right?
So our trade of the week this week is.
We haven't heard anything except for Dan. So this is all new to us as
well. Trade of the week this week we saw in the Dynasty Leagues. Lion to myself has he's added Derrick Henry and Christian Watson. And he traded away to Nick Chill's Amon-Ra St. Brown and a 4th round pick in 2023. So Derrick Henry and Christian Watson for Amon-Ra and a 2023 4th. Oh, this is a really weird one. It's hard to kind of talk it through because, like, you would have expected to get more from Henry, but like, there's also the fact is Henry aging now. Is he a mere mortal? You're getting the young receiver in Watson, who Aaron Rodgers seems to hate. He seems to have gone for Dubes. And now you have the rising star of Amon-Ra St. Brown on the other side.
Yeah, I think you've missed the bus on Christian Watson. Like, he's gone now. Dubes is the man there. Just Watson is just injured, and Rodgers doesn't wait around. He's not a man to help the rookies. He said this at the start of pre-season. Whoever wants to catch the ball, catch the ball. Dubes is the man. I think you probably nearly give up on Christian Watson at this point, to be quite honest, for a while. And yeah, he's constantly injured. I think you probably traded Henry too early. I think if you had waited a week, you would get more for Henry now, because obviously Henry looked like himself this week. Now, that was 6 days ago. Yeah, so that was. I think you traded him way too early. Last week,
you got Amon-Ra in his worst week so far.
Yeah, like last week, I think yes, it's a fair trade, Henry for St. Brown, but you're taking a massive risk on that.
Shane, you're the resident Henry lover.
This just causes me pain. Whenever I see Henry, just when Henry gets traded away, man, it just causes me pain. It's like, what are you doing? Now I love Amon-Ra. He's one of my new boys. He will be staying with me for a long time. But
yeah, we play in a 2-keeper, so Henry and Amon-Ra will be gone for a few years.
So, like, look, I get why you done it. Henry was underperforming. It's not even down to really too much of Henry. Just teams were loading the box against him. It was impossible for him to break through. He had no help from any of the receivers. They were doing nothing, and Tannehill was laying an egg. But this week they spread the ball a bit better. Henry got a bit more space, and he does what he does when he gets a bit of space. He just manhandles boys. And Amon-Ra got hurt this week. But yeah, look, I'm not really okay with it. I would rather have the running back than the wide receiver. But look, they got like you got Watson, I suppose, as well. Jamie is saying he'd be better on Green Bay than me, obviously, but Jamie's saying that they're not going to wait around for him. I still think Christian Watson has a lot of upside. It is a matter of waiting for it, but it's dynasty. You're going to see the upside eventually. I think no matter what, I think he will end up being somewhat of a decent player. I don't think he's a star by any means, but he's decent.
Yeah, I think you guys summed it up pretty well there. That was in League 107. I will throw a trade that I saw in League 108 as just an honorable mention. Kenny Golladay traded for a 2023 5th round pick. The disrespect to Golladay.
do we have just a interested why on the soundboard? Do we have just a why?
No, I can give you a.
Crap! Well, that's more for Golladay. Like I really couldn't give a fuck about Golladay.
Yeah. No, that's more like an old Gill trade. God, trade me for a 5th round.
Yeah, that's probably more appropriate.
More like
yeah. It's like guys just trading just to trade. I like it.
We can always just paint Golladay with this one.
Hell, son, you're about as useful as a cock-flavored lollipop.
Yeah, horse too. Yeah,
that's fair. I'd say that's fair.
That can be just Golladay's drop. I'll have to rename it. So that brings us to the trades nicely. I'll just quickly mention follow us on Twitter at IF Punts, and our YouTube is the Irish Fantasy Punt. So if you want to follow us there as well. All these subscribes apparently help us somehow. I don't know how, but younger kids will know. I don't know. It gets all the algorithms going or something. Anyway, that'll bring us nicely then into our preview for the next week. So we'll get your teams together. So hang on, I have a drop for this as well.
Avengers!
Assemble.
See, get your team ready.
I was supposed to say, where the fuck is the assemble?
It's really delayed.
There's a real delay there.
All right, the Thursday night game, Miami at Cincinnati. Tua's day-to-day at the minute, so I think we're kind of waiting to see if Tua's playing before we are using the weapon. Well, you're probably still using Hill and Waddle anyway, are you?
Yeah, you're not dropping them. No, they're banked in there. Whoever's playing doesn't matter.
Who is the backup there?
You hope what? Who's the backup?
Yeah, it is. Is it Bridgewater?
It is Teddy. Yeah, it is Teddy. You're right.
Yeah.
Yes, Teddy's competent enough. It won't be great, but it'll be okay. On the other side, Chase Edmonds. The other question, you're probably putting him in as a flex.
Yeah, I would put. Yeah, I'd play Chase.
He looked good last week. Yeah, I think he's earned the spot.
If you were playing Mostert as a flex, I would be dropping Mostert.
I don't know why you'd be playing Mostert as a flex, but
Jamie,
16 team leagues.
Mustard.
Just give up now if you're playing Mustard at the flex.
Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon, they're both in. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. Tyler Boyd might be a nice dart throw in deeper leagues. He scored like 18 points last week. He got a massive game.
Yeah, he did really well. He would have been the call back for one as well, I think.
Yeah, he had an amazing run and touchdown, and it got called back.
Yeah.
It was very good.
Yeah, if you want a dice roll, chuck him in, but like you're probably chasing points as well. Don't expect much.
The one thing I will say about this game, if Tua is playing, the Cincinnati defense has been absolutely awful. So if Tua is playing, make sure you have Hill and Waddle on your teams. I know Hill didn't impress a whole lot of people last week, and some insane people might drop him. Don't do that. It's a really bad idea. I've seen on Sleeper his start percentage is gone down to like 60% or 70%. It's insane. He had one bad week.
That's not the hill you want to die on, lads.
Yeah.
Damn it! I should have put a roll on the soundboard.
One job, Dad. One job.
Minnesota at New Orleans. This is Sunday game. What time is this at? 2:30 on Sunday. It's a weird time. Anyway.
Oh, it's a London game.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
This will be a blowout then on one side. Surely the Vikings blow out the Saints then, because we never get good games in London.
Yeah, surely you would imagine the Vikings. Obviously Jefferson's in play here. Madison, if Cook's not playing, is a mustache. I think he's gonna be brilliant if Cook's not playing. And I think Thielen kind of worked himself in there last week as well. I think he's a guy you could probably bring back in as a flex option.
Yeah, it's a touchdown dependent, isn't he? Well, Jefferson stopped last week as well.
The Saints defense is decent. That's the only thing. They are all right. They don't seem like they're very bad. Like they seem fairly decent. Like, so that's the only thing I will say about that. Bring it back in Thielen. I don't know how good that was.
Last week, because we have kickers. I had to play a kicker, so I put Will Lutz in. Fucking like 0 points. Like he was -2 at one stage.
Just pick up a random dude. All I do every year is pick up a random kicker from a random team. Never pick the same one.
I did.
Just stick with him for the year.
No, but that's not what you do with kickers. You need to get a semi-okay offense who halfway up the field that can't score in the red zone. That's what you need.
I got lucky last year and had New England.
Exactly.
These are like a dice roll. May as well be playing Dungeons and Dragons if we have to in there.
I have a strategy to do.
Shut up. Jameis Winston, you're not playing him. Alvin Kamara. What was his injury story? I'll pull it up here now. Limited to start the week of practice. Wonderful.
Yeah,
Kamara's going to play. He will play.
Yeah, but you don't want to play him. I think he's gone to that kind of CMC level where you're sick of him.
You have to play him though.
Praise CMC like 10 minutes ago to a guy. You told him to keep him.
Yeah, but like CMC's better than Kamara now. Like at least CMC looks like he's going to get a few points week on week. Kamara looks like he's doing fucking nothing for the last 3 weeks.
Mike Thomas, Chris Olave, both flex options in my opinion.
Yeah, Mike Thomas seems like he's not the Mike Thomas of old because Drew Brees ain't there, but he's showing he's still got quality left. Like,
and then Olave's bursting out as well.
Yeah, man, it's a serious game this week.
The Cleveland Browns at the Atlanta Falcons, 2-1 against 1-2. Jacoby Brissett versus Marcus Mariota.
Titanic clash.
You're playing Patterson, Chubb, and Hunt. Are you chasing the points to Cooper this week?
No, he's away from home, man. I'm telling you now, look, genuinely laugh, but like I'm telling you now, he was on my fantasy team 2 years in a row. I've watched him with the Cowboys. How long was he there? 4 years with the Cowboys? 5 years with the Cowboys? Whatever it was. No, he wasn't even there that long, was he? 4 years.
Don't know.
I think we've had him. Maybe 5. But like his first season with the Cowboys, he did all right on away games. And after that, he just didn't show up in away games. He played really well at home and didn't play good away from home. And then I went back and I checked out what he was like with the Raiders. It was the same. So it's not like it's going to change just because he's a Brown now. In fact, it's only going to get worse.
Yeah, I stopped picking him up. I stopped drafting him after the Raiders days because I just got sick of him. It's literally just it's boom bust. It's just so annoying.
Yeah, because games go home and away.
Drake London, you're putting him in your lineup. He's made the transition, and Kyle Pitts is going in your tight end slot.
Yeah, I tried a cheeky trade for Drake London like last week before games kicked off, and I got told no.
Yeah, you're not getting him now.
No,
it's gone. You might put David Njoku in because, like, tight end. What else are you gonna do? He had a good week last week.
Yeah. I'm not against playing Njoku. I think his points projection is always kind of low end of the starting tight ends, but Njoku's got the ability to have a good week. Like he could be consistently good. He's strong, tall, fast. He's more agile than a lot of the tight ends around the league. So
you would imagine him as the wide receivers 2 kind of there with Cooper. So like he's better than those boys. Like
wide receiver 3 then behind Kareem Hunt.
I'd play him over Dawson Knox anyway. He was banged up, and I'd play him over I'd actually probably play him over Hawkinson at this stage because Hawkinson's not been brilliant. I know he got 10 points this week.
Why are you attacking my tight ends?
Yeah.
Why are you attacking all my players?
Just list off players that Jamie picked up or drafted. You're awful at this.
We've got a good game here. The 2-1 Buffalo Bills take on the 2-1 Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson versus Josh Allen. Play the two of them anyway.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to say, no.
You do. If you draft a Singletary, you're playing Singletary. You draft him for a reason. Like,
if I'm stuck, and then I'll play him. But if I have receivers who are playing good on the bench, I'm if he's my flex, he's not getting into the team. Like,
he hasn't had above 10 rushing attempts this year. He got like 19.6 points last week, but he did that because he had 9 receptions, 9 attempts, 9 receptions, 78 yards on his receptions, and a touchdown. He had a big day in the receiving game.
I have no faith in Singletary as a running back.
I don't want him. But I'm saying you draft him. You have to die with your draft. Like you drafted him to play him.
Not against the Ravens. The Ravens showed against Miami that they were good. They were very good against the run. And when Miami stopped trying to run it and they actually completed a few passes, they just showed that Ravens secondary isn't able to live. They won't even say handle. They ain't able to live with a decent passing attack. And Josh Allen is just going to annihilate them through the air.
I don't want to play him. I'm making that very clear. I'm saying that.
Okay. J.K. Dobbins, it's looking like I'll probably leave him on the bench for another week just to see again, but it's looking like he's going to be back in full strength soon. Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis, they're both in your lineup. Davis maybe as a flex option.
Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah, I
don't
no issues
over yourself there to answer that.
no, I'm more interested in the other side of it, the Ravens side of it.
Duvernay side.
Yeah, I'm really, if I'm after picking up Duvernay or if he's there to be got, I think this is the week where I'm saying here he's had 3 good weeks. He returns kicks. I'm taking him. Like, I'm going to pick him up and give him a shot, stick him in a flex and see what happens. I think his target share is awful. What did he have? Two passes this week towards him, and he made the absolute most out of it. He is lightning when he gets the ball in his hands. So I'm throwing him in and seeing what happens. And I have to say that so far this season, I've been wrong about Lamar Jackson. I think, especially the last 2 weeks, he's thrown the ball a lot more than what I expected, and he's done it very well.
It's like a top 5 passer or something this year.
Yeah. Oh, he's made me look like a damn idiot.
I didn't realize the targets were so low for Duvernay. 4-2-2. I think he got injured in the second week, but still, it's very low.
Yeah, his target share is awful, but the look, you see it with his points. He's absolutely making the most of what he's getting, and he's just a big player. So I think you're taking a risk. He's not going to get given the ball 10 times throughout the game, but the 2 times he does get it, it could be 2 house calls. So I'm I'm taking the chance and I go with him. He's a big player.
Another question in, would you trade CMC, Keenan, I assume that's Keenan Allen, Jeff Wilson for Dalvin Cook, AJ Brown, and Montgomery?
Yes.
What's Montgomery's in? Well, you're looking at 2 injuries there. Like Montgomery's out and Cook's out.
Dalvin's day to day. AJ Brown.
I don't think Dalvin is going to play this weekend. I think it'll probably be Mattison. Montgomery could have just lost his place in the team. Let's be real clear about that. Like, that's the other side of it. And AJ Brown.
The better side of the trade, if everyone was fully fit, would be the Dalvin, AJ Brown, and Montgomery. But I don't know, do I want to forfeit a week losing CMC? Keenan Allen's supposed to be back this week, and Jeff Wilson's the starting running back for the 49ers. So I think I lean CMC, Keenan, Jeff Wilson, just so I don't forfeit this week.
Yeah, I think maybe hold out for the weekend and see what happens after the weekend. That's probably the smartest thing we'll say.
Hold.
Yeah.
Mark Andrews, you're playing him. That's not really a question. Jamie, the question is Dawson Knox here for Buffalo. Are you going again? Or
well, I just brought him in. I'm just sitting him on the bench. I know. I just know he's going to break out. I know he is, and once he does, he's class, and everyone's going to be like, "Oh, I wish I Dawson Knox," and I'm like, "Oh, I have him and Hawkinson," and I'll be Knox in the flex and Hawkinson in the tight end spot. And yeah, no, he's going to sit there for. I don't trust him yet. I don't think he can trust him yet, but I do think eventually he's gonna break out. It's going to happen.
No.
Washington at Dallas.
We just have another question there in the chat, Dan.
Oh, cool. I'll throw it on the screen. What we got? CEH from Mari Cooper.
Oh, that's disgusting.
No, look. CEH has been. If you're in PPR, CEH is getting a lot of passes thrown to him. And Amari Cooper is ass on away days, class on home days. So CH for me is the more consistent player at this moment in time. He is actually who I would take after the pain he caused me last year.
Oh yeah, hands down. You're not taking Cooper. You definitely don't want Cooper. Like whatever, but at least with Edwards-Helaire, he's on a good team, and he might drive you fucking demented for half the year. But the other half of the year, he's the running back one there. Like you're all day you're taking Edwards-Helaire. You don't want him.
Yeah, look, if you have like a solid selection of running backs, if you have 3 decent running backs, even 2 really good running backs who are ahead of Edwards-Helaire, and you're really struggling at wide receiver, like you're starting second stringers all over the shop, like then I'd probably take Amari for CEH. I'd probably look for something a little bit extra. But other than that, I wouldn't be trading CEH for Amari at this moment in time.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with you. I think I'd ride with CEH there. Sorry, what game were we on there? We gotten down to Washington at Dallas. Cooper Rush against Carson Wentz. I think Carson Wentz has firmly put himself onto the bench.
Called it.
Cowboys defense. I'm not going back to that well.
Oh, Cowboys defense is playing out of its skin. It's insane. It's the only thing keeping the Cowboys alive at the minute. And Cooper Rush just absolutely throwing dimes down the field.
Yeah, but you're not playing Cooper Rush. So the question is, are you playing Zeke? And I personally am very interested in this because I have the question of, am I playing Zeke?
It depends. Look, it depends. I would say it depends on who you have in your team, obviously. But like, if I have, like, at the moment in my team, if Zeke was in my team now and I have Fournette, Connors, Hunt, and we say replace Henderson with Zeke, and I have Henry, like, Zeke's not getting into that team, or even replace Connors with Zeke because I could have got him around that time. I would probably play Hunt over Zeke this week. I genuinely believe.
I think
Huh?
AJ Dillon. I'm going to bench AJ Dillon for Zeke. I think this week.
I don't. Yeah, who are they? They're Green Bay. Who are they playing this week?
I'm scrolling.
New England. Yeah, New England.
Yeah,
That's
I'm going to bench.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I look. I can see that then. Yeah, because even though here Washington's front seven, man, is solid.
They've been terrible though. They've been playing terrible this season. There's no
yeah,
Chase Young.
but they always look, from being a Cowboys fan and watching these games for I don't know how long, they always show up against Dallas. That front seven always comes after us. Like, it's not going to be an easy day running for the Cowboys either. But Tony Pollard is a guy I would play. He seems to be really coming along. But Zeke, I'd be a little bit out on, maybe flex.
Antonio Gibson on the other side, you're probably playing, Jamie.
Yeah, I think you kind of have to play Antonio Gibson. But might as well, you don't have to. But yeah, I think you do probably, if you have him, I think you do probably play him in flex. I think the play here though is Carson Samuel. I'm big on Carson Samuel there for the next few weeks, and kind of like Dawson Knox, I think he's going to break out. I do. He has that kind of deep.
You bring Dawson Knox back up again.
I did, just yeah.
Shut up.
Okay. These are my two boys now, right?
No.
I don't hit Carson Samuel, but I feel like the two of them are gonna fucking break.
Well, you may as well talk about the three wide receivers there, Jamie: Curtis Samuel, Terry McLaurin, and Josh Dobson.
Yeah, I want Samuel. Samuel's your boy there. I think Samuel, if you can't have him, pick him up. You can trade for him, go get him. He's involved in the run. He's involved in the pass. He's involved in a bit of everything. He still got, was it something like 10 fantasy points last week or something like that. And Wentz was useless. You know, when Wentz is good, he's up at 20 points. So like you have that nearly base depth with him. McLaurin, yeah, I think if you have McLaurin, you're playing McLaurin. He looks pretty good this year. Same kind of crack. Wentz wasn't good, but he seemed pretty good. Dotson, no, you're not playing Dotson, but you're going to stash him. You're not dropping him. You're going to keep him, hold him, see if Wentz can bring back the form from the first 2 weeks, I suppose.
Yeah, you don't really want to play Dotson, I'd say, against this defense. And then Shane, bring us through the Cowboys options there between your tight end, your wide receiver.
Sorry?
Is Dalton Schultz back, or is he still day to day?
I think he's down as day to day still at the moment. Schultz, I could see him coming back in for the weekend, but I'd say he'll be on a snap count because they really like the Ferguson guy that they got and Hendershot. They seem to like the two of them, so I wouldn't be. The Cowboys are they're fluid with their tight ends anyway. We've seen it over the years since Witten has gone. For me, again, I'd echo it again this week. CD, I think he could have a really good week, but the guy who I'd be looking at, who's free in a lot of leagues out there, is Noah Brown. I would, if you're struggling at receiver or you need a flex option to come in, he's Cooper Rush's favorite target. He's going to score you points. He's going to be 9 points minimum, I'd say, this week again. And he didn't go for a touchdown last week, but I could see him going for one this week. So Noah Brown will be my sneaky pickup. And if you were a Tua owner or you're someone who has an injured quarterback and you're looking for a guy who nobody else is going to pick up, I'll be picking up Cooper Rush this week. I think that Washington defense is in for a bit of trouble this week. Cowboys are starting to look good. Cooper Rush is doing nice things, and I think the run game is going to be shut down a little bit more from this week with the Washington front seven. So I think we're going to be relying a bit more on the pass. So I can see Cooper Rush scoring a few extra points this week. That'll be my rundown on the Cowboys.
That's a bold statement.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
I would
What
not
I do?
play Cooper Rush.
I tell you, look, hey, we might come back next week and he could have 8 points, but I genuinely believe Cooper Rush is going to have 20, 25 points this week.
No, he won't.
All right. Okay.
Seahawks at Detroit. Sorry, we skipped over Logan Thomas, but I'm probably not playing Logan Thomas either. Are you?
Grand. Fun.
Seahawks at Detroit. 1-2 Seahawks at the 1-2 Detroit Lions. Jared Goff. I'm probably rolling with Jared Goff this week.
Said it last week, dude. I think Jared Goff is a decent QB to have nowadays again.
Yeah, I have Trevor Lawrence and Jared Goff. I picked up Lawrence this week, but I'm going to play Goff this week over Lawrence anyway, and then roll maybe next week with Lawrence after, because Jackson will have that Philly defense. I don't really want to play that. Swift, you got to check, and you got to just keep on the updates. You're playing him if he's fit. But the same thing happens again where they have him on a snap count. I might look to bench him, maybe put him in the flex. And if he is injured all week, Jamal Williams becomes a very interesting play.
I think you're definitely playing Jamal Williams. Swift isn't there. Williams is more than capable as a backup there.
Williams should be a starter somewhere. He should be. He's got the quality to be a starter.
He does, yeah.
The Seahawks running backs, I don't know what Pete Carroll is doing with Kenneth Walker. Is he still coming back from that hernia surgery and they're trying to work him in slowly, or is Pete Carroll just, Pete Carroll? I'm not playing Rashad Penny anyway. It's just nasty looking. It doesn't look great. And can you even bring yourself to play DK Metcalf at this stage? Are we beat down?
Yeah, I'm trading DK and Tyler Lockett. They would be on the way out the door, and I would be on the way to the shop to pick up Will Disley.
DK Metcalf did have a good game last week, but it's just Detroit defense is pretty good. Like, they're not weak or anything, are they?
No.
I
think you're okay with DK. I think you're still fine with him for a while. I think Lockett, I think you definitely give up on Lockett at this point.
He's actually been very good, Lockett, looking at the numbers, but for some reason it feels like he's been terrible. Like, I'd be afraid to play Lockett every week.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't think you go there anyway. I think you have better options. You just stay away from those two wide receivers. It's not the headache you want. Like, Shane's going to take him with Disley out for a date for some odd reason.
I said I was going to the shop to buy him. You're not going to buy him and bring him on a date.
You're going picking him up. That's why he's at the shop. Why is he in Star?
Look at Lockett's Lockett week 1 sucked. Week 1 was terrible. 4 targets, 3 receptions, 28 yards. Just forget that. Week 2 against San Francisco, 11 targets, 9 receptions, 107 yards. Week 3 against Atlanta, 11 targets, 9 receptions for 76 yards. I think his numbers aren't bad for the last 2 weeks.
I would still trade him. I think Geno Smith is not going to be consistent enough. The Seahawks team is not good enough that if you have him in a dynasty league, I would probably hold. If you're in a redraft, I'd see what I could get for him after 2 decent weeks.
Try and sell the good weeks.
Yeah, sell now. That's what I'd be looking at, because I don't think Geno Smith's consistent enough for a redraft where you're going to be getting those kind of points every week. I think the more likely option is he's going to end up with more under 10-point weeks than over 10-point weeks by the end of the year.
The other side, Amon-Ra goes straight in, just check and see if he's healthy. There's no need to talk about that. And the tight ends, Will Disley versus the underperforming TJ Hawkinson. Who would you play?
Give me Disley.
Yeah. You gotta play Hawkinson.
Of course you play Hawkinson.
That's not even a question. Like,
I love Hawkinson, man. I really do. But last week was the first week where it went right for Hawkinson. So at the moment, Will Disley is the more consistent of the two.
Yeah, well, Hawkinson has had the targets. He's just dropped a lot of balls with some.
Yeah, exactly. He has been awful.
But that's not like him. But he's still getting the targets, and you know they're going to still go with him. So if he can hit back to the heights he has, you got a good tie in there.
Yeah, but Disley is scoring. Disley is scoring, and he's getting the targets.
But like Disley scored last week, and that was about it.
He scored week 1 too.
He's getting 3-2-3 for Disley's targets. He's just been very good. He's a baller.
Yeah. So there we go. Will Disley better than TJ Hawkinson. Heard it here first.
The 1-2 Chargers taking on the 2-1 Houston Texans. Who would have thought that would be the records? Justin Herbert straight in your lineup. Hopefully he's fit though. Avoid setback in week 3. Keep an eye on the practice reports. Davis Mills, you're not playing him unless it's Superflex maybe, but we don't really play Superflex, so we're probably not the best people to ask about that. Austin Eckler into your lineup. Damon Pierce is in your lineup. He's been playing amazing. Any of you two got an opinion on Damon Pierce, or just put him in?
Yeah, just put him in.
Yeah, that's a good point. You just put him in.
Yeah, his attempts have gone up from 11 in week 1 to 15 in week 2 to 20 in week 3. So that's trending in the direction you want.
Yeah, they finally realized Davis Mills isn't that good, but David Pierce could run the ball.
Mike Williams is in your lineup. Keenan Allen, if he's on the field, is in your lineup. And if we said this last week, if Keenan Allen is on the field, Josh Palmer drops to your bench.
Yes.
You could probably drop Josh Palmer. Keenan Allen's back. There's no point holding on to him.
Yeah, if you need the spot. But like if you're picking him up, if you're dropping him just to pick up crap, I'd keep him on my bench because you never know with Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. Brandon Cooks is the only option really on the other side. I don't think I'm playing Nico Collins.
Would you put Rex Burkhead in as a flex?
In deeper leagues, maybe. Not in a 12 team.
I don't think so,
no. I actually don't even know. Am I playing Brandon Cooks this week? The Chargers defense pretty good. I might bench him this week.
But you love Brandon Cooks.
Yeah. I know. I'm saying
he's like your favorite player.
He didn't have a great week last week, so I'm down on him. Gerald Everett, if you're in that range of terrible tight ends, he's worth a shot.
We got him terrible. He had a bad week last week, but he's solid the first 2 weeks.
We already understand that you don't know what a good tight end is. Shut up.
I don't mean that
Hawkinson, Knox, or Everett.
Yeah, well, I don't mean Gerald Everett's a terrible tight end. I mean, like if you're in that range where you're playing a Knox or you're playing a
Hawkinson.
Yeah, these are the 3 pillars of fantasy football that you need.
Yeah, like if you have Everett and you're in that range of tight ends, he's worth a shot. Like, Tennessee 1-2 at the 1-1-1 Indianapolis Colts.
0-1-1-1-0-0-1.
Ryan Tannehill, no. Matt Ryan, no. We're all happy with that decision, yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Derrick Henry, we don't need to really discuss it too much. Jonathan Taylor, you're biting your lip and you're going for another round. You're not benching him.
Yeah.
This is a name we should bring up. Hilliard. He seems to keep appearing whenever I'm watching these games with big chunk plays. I don't know. Should we be looking at Hilliard as a stash on a bench? Maybe obviously not to play him, but what do you guys think of Hilliard?
Yeah,
only if Henry goes down. If Henry goes down, yeah, 100% good play. But I don't think he's worth a stash on the bench. Not now, yeah.
No.
I don't know. I contemplated it this week. I really did. I was looking at Hilliard, thinking, "Will I? Won't I?" He did. He looked good in the game at the weekend. He did have some flash plays, as you said. But I don't know. I didn't bite with it in the end. I kind of just stuck with who I have. I'm kind of happy with my team at the minute. So, but I could see why you'd bring it up. He's tempting.
Keep an eye on him. That's what we'll say.
Yeah.
Robert Woods should be on the waiver wire. Traylon Burks should be on your bench. I think I'm waiting a couple more weeks on Burks before I put him in the lineup. What do you guys think?
I liked Burks this week. I thought he did all right. He looked a bit better than what he has in the previous 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Woods looks like he's kind of taken over there a small bit though. Like he started getting these targets there last week, kind of what we kind of presumed he would get in week 1.
Targets week 1, 9 targets week 3.
Yeah, I think they're trusting him more, and the Titans are playing better now with him playing more. You know, maybe they trust Woods a bit more. I think he's definitely worth the stash. I was going to pick him up myself today, but it's like, I don't need another shit wide receiver on my bench. So.
And then on the other side, Michael Pittman's the only one you're playing there. Are you playing Mo Ali Cox maybe at your tight end spot? I think I am.
Jamie probably would.
No, I actually wouldn't. He's not in the 3 pillars of awesome tight ends.
This next game, these two teams, I don't know how they have these records. Chicago sitting at 2-1, visit the 2-1 New York Giants. Saquon Barkley is the only person I am playing in this game. Maybe Herbert if Montgomery sits.
Guy to take note of, maybe the other St. Brown, the brother of Amon-Ra. He's had a few flash plays, man. That like he'd show up there on red zone for you a little bit, wouldn't he? On a Sunday.
Okay. Komet seemed a bit better last week. He started getting a few touches, but I still don't think you can trust him. I gotta stop bringing up tight ends.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. man is one bad tight end after another trying to claim that they're good. You did well at the start of the show, Conklin. Nobody argued with you, but then you just got downhill.
That's 5 tight ends.
Jesus.
Jacksonville 2-1 at Philadelphia 3-0. Jalen Hurts is an auto start in fantasy, but Trevor Lawrence, we talked about it in another matchup. I think I said I'm benching him this week for Jared Goff. What are your guys' opinions? Would you play him against the Eagles?
I probably would, yeah.
Yeah, I think you can. Yeah, I think he's earned the right that you can play him. I said wouldn't be comfortable playing him, but I think if you have him, you probably picked him up to play him. So yeah, I wouldn't be against it.
For the running backs, James Robinson, he has stolen our hearts and smashed into the lineup. ETN, you can flex him, I would imagine. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
I go with a flex on ETN, alright, yeah.
And then Sanders is probably your running back too at this stage. I don't think I'm messing with the other Philadelphia running backs.
I still don't think you go near any of them. I think that's too much for a committee there. I wouldn't bother.
Sanders is doing pretty well though. He's getting the majority of the attempts. He didn't have a great
bad last week, though. Yeah, bad. It's got a nice lineup of players there that you would like to play this week. Like deeper leagues, I give Zay Jones a shot in the flex. I would. Christian Kirk is definitely wide receiver 1 material. AJ Brown again, yeah. Devonta Smith, yeah, good. Dallas Goedert, good tight end. Evan Ingram is playing well for Jacksonville too, and he seems to be available in a lot of places. I think Evan Ingram could have a good year this year. He's not been hitting on all cylinders so far, but if you're looking for a tight end for a shot in the dark, he's playing well. It's just his targets there to go around with what Trevor Lawrence is throwing out at the minute. But it's an interesting matchup this weekend. It's one I think I'm going to watch a little bit more closely than most. I kind of want to see how this goes for these two. Is Hurts what he's built up to be, and is Lawrence going to hit the highs that he was touted with coming out of college? It's very interesting to me for the weekend now.
Yeah, a lot of weapons in that game. We'll move on to the Jets at Pittsburgh. I'm going to skip over the quarterback because let's face it.
I know they drop Flacco. The Jets have instantly lost. Like
Yeah, what the number 5 quarterback in the league.
I don't really want to play any Jet. I love Garrett Wilson. I have him on my team, but I'm going to wait a week and see what it's like with Zach Wilson. And I suppose Najee's probably the only player I'm playing in this whole game.
Yeah, and you're struggling to play Najee. Like, I really thought Najee would come out and do well this year, but I kind of thought Trubisky wouldn't be the quarterback either. So I think that's what kind of has screwed up. Like, they really need to establish the run to get Trubisky going in a game. And I think teams know that, so they're just bogging down the run and saying, we could probably go 1-1 with everyone against Mitch Trubisky and just have a good enough chance of keeping him contained, because Trubisky's going to struggle to get the ball to him anyway. So it's really hampered Najee, which is very upsetting.
Arizona 1-2 at Carolina 1-2. I'm a very pessimistic Cardinals fan, but I expect them to go in and take care of Carolina this weekend. And that's the famous last words when you end up and lose a game. But I'd be smashing Kyler into my team. Baker is not getting a game. James Conner, you have to play him if you drafted him where you did. CMC is definitely in your lineup. Shane, maybe say something on Conner there. You're the Conner owner in our league.
Yeah, I dropped him last week. Didn't really do me any favors. Who I put in for him got basically the same points. Conner, he's not getting the touchdowns he was getting last year, and I didn't expect him to come back and get the same amount of touchdowns. I knew he was touchdown reliant last year, but I thought he's the kind of prototype back I look for when I'm drafting. Is he in a committee? No, thank God. Is he a bit of a bell cow back? Good nosed runner, like get the head down, beat people through power, because those guys get a lot of goal line touchdowns. The problem is Carolina haven't been on the goal line a whole heap this year, so it's very hard for a guy who's a goal line specialist to score when he's not there. So that's where Connor's downfall is. Yeah, so look, if I have him, I'm playing him this week. I have a bit of faith in you against Carolina. So yeah, I'm sticking with him. I play Marquis Brown and Dortch as well. I actually think I'd stick Dortch in the flex this week.
I was going to throw the receivers to Jamie. I gave you the running back.
Sorry. Go ahead, Jamie.
Yeah, well, no, you're right. I think Dortch is probably a good pick up here. I think he's available in a lot of leagues, but he's been doing very well the last few weeks. I definitely think he's a lad that should be on someone's bench. I think Marquis Brown is definitely a pickup here. He's a must play. I really think he'll do well this week. He's been doing well the last few weeks anyway, and the Cardinals have been pretty poor. So surely this is the time the Cardinals really pick it up a small bit. On the other side, I don't know.
That's DJ Moore's life.
You know, like obviously, if you DJ Moore, you want to play him. Might be a good matchup. I guess the Cardinals seem very poor on defense at the moment. I think you have him, you probably play him. Maybe it's a flex option, but I don't think you go anywhere else. I think you don't go Robbie Anderson. The only one there probably is Daviscus Chenault, but who scored a good touchdown last week, but you're not going that deep. No.
Yeah, I was saying there, are you going to take the shot and pick him up and stash him just in case he does become like the wide receiver 2, the gadget guy, the kind of their Debo in Carolina, the pound shop Debo of Carolina?
No, it's just Baker Mayfield.
He just had 2 receptions and broke out for a 90-yard touchdown. That's what happened.
Fun fact on Greg Dortch, he's wide receiver 19 in PPR.
Greg Dortch has been good, man. There's no doubts about it.
Zach Ertz, play Zach Ertz.
Yeah. Tight end 3. He's literally one of the top 3 pillars.
Not bad.
He's one of my pillars.
New England versus Green Bay. 1-2 New England against the 2-1 Green Bay Packers. Brian Hoyer is projected to start this game.
Number 2 defense against the pass.
Yeah, but the problem is there's probably going to be very few offensive plays for New England and a lot for Green Bay.
Mm-hmm.
I think you play Jones and Dillon. I think you have 2 of them here. You play the 2 of them, even though the matchup's not favorable. I still think without What's the Patriots quarterback? That's
Mac Jones.
Mac Jones. Without Jones, I just don't think they're going to get much of an offense in.
I'd pick Dubes.
I would play Dubes, but I think Lazard's the player. Definitely Lazard. I think you stash Lazard, you play him as a wide receiver too. He is going to be the man here. I know everyone's so high on Dubes, and I said earlier on, get Dubes, but I still don't think you play him yet. I don't think. I think you stash him if you have him. I brought him in our league this week, but I'm not going to play him. I don't think you play him, but you think you watch him. As I think he's going to pass out Watson. But other than that, I don't think you play much else. The Packers defense, 100%. Other than that,
Do it!
Yeah, yeah.
That's in reference to the trade that popped up on the screen.
Yes.
Javonte, who was it? And Olave. Javonte and Olave for JT. That is just an automatic do it.
Do it!
Jonathan Taylor.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No. God, no. No, you don't.
All day, dude.
Devonta Williams has done fucking nothing. I have him. I know he's done nothing.
Yeah, you're trading him away for Jonathan Taylor.
If I can get Jonathan Taylor, I'd love the JT side of that.
Yeah, if you're getting JT.
So yeah, if you're getting JT, yes,
100%.
But if you're giving away those two, you're an idiot.
Anyone who listens to the audio of this back and they don't watch the video, they're just gonna hear like Shia LaBeouf shouting "Do it" at like Jamie talking about Green Bay.
Hey, it could have been a reference to starting Lazar.
Stevenson and Harris. I don't really know which one to pick. They're both flex worthy. I wouldn't be happy about doing it, but I would do it.
Yeah, it's
If I had another option, I wouldn't be doing it.
No.
I want to keep an eye on as well when Mac Jones when he comes back. Is Devontae Parker going to see a lot more of the ball? When he was targeted this week, he was really good, and I'd like to keep an eye on him. One to watch for the rest of the year when Mac Jones is playing. They seem to have something going there after this week.
Denver 2-1 at Las Vegas Raiders 0-3. I'm playing Cortland Sutton. Yep. Judy's probably making his way to my bench. It's not going very well. That's about it for Denver. Javonte goes in. I play Melvin Gordon the pinch.
Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah, you play Williams, play Sutton. If you have Judy, maybe a flex. On the other side, you're obviously playing Adams. Definitely Adams, 100%. Renfro's probably worse. Anyway. Yeah, you probably flex Renfro. I think that's all I call.
Holland last week.
He didn't play that. No, I don't think he did. He was injured, was he?
Yeah, he had the concussion.
Yeah,
we got time. Yeah, he misses another practice. Oh God, that's not good.
If he misses again, I think Hollins is a nice little pick up there. But I think that's in deeper leagues if you're kind of stuck for a flex option. Other than that, you probably play Josh Jacobs, I suppose. You know, you want to, but you probably do play
running back 2. Running back 2.
Yeah. And Darren Waller. That
you're tied into Waller if you have him. Like when your tight end plays all year. Anything to say on this match, Shane, or are you happy enough?
Yeah, I think you're putting Judy out a bit too early after the injury. I didn't think he was going to get much ball last week.
Oh yeah, but I'm benching him just to see a bit more after the injury. Like
I'd agree. Maybe this week, even though Vegas is a nice matchup, if the offense is going to hit, it should hit this week. So you'd be kind of hopeful if you're a Sutton, Judy, Javonte Williams owner that you're looking for a big week this week out of those guys. So that's the other side of it. But yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards myself, maybe benching Judy. Sutton should have a good week then if Judy's not getting the targets, but I don't know. It's it's a tough one for me. Like it's a rock and a hard place. They're coming up against a bad team. They have the ability to go out and have a good week, but then is the injury still there? Is it gone? Is he going to be fully healthy this week? And then Russell Wilson again is two good wide receivers. We know what that's like from his Seattle days. So
yeah, Russell Wilson sucked, so I'm not going.
Yeah,
he made his final destination to the waiver wire this week. I gave him a week on the bench for Jared Goff, and he sucked on the bench as well. So bye, Russ. You can suck it up over there. Kansas City 2-1 at Tampa Bay 2-1. This should be what we want for fantasy. Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady, are they both in your lineup, or is Brady sitting on your bench?
No, I think you play two of them. Yeah.
I think if Evans and Jones are back this weekend, I'm playing Brady. If they're not, I'm benching them.
Yeah, Jones is. I think they're projected to play Jones at the minute, and then Evans is obviously back from suspension. So that kind of transitions us nicely into the Tampa Bay wide receivers. So you may as well. You kind of said it there, Shane. Is there anything else to add on that? Just play the two of them.
Yeah, no, I think just play the two of them. Julio, for what we've seen with him at Tampa Bay, looks really dangerous. So I'd be happy to play him wide receiver 2, or if you're deep, you're flex. Obviously, he'd go in anywhere on my team. And Mike Evans is Mike Evans. The other side is just pick one of them, play him if you have him, and hope for the best.
None of the Kansas City wide receivers get into my team because I'm just too afraid of the Russian roulette in Kansas City.
Yeah, they're like Bills running backs. You just don't want to go there. You don't want that headache. You can say the same thing like Edwards Hilaire. You don't want that headache either. But you're probably still going to play
flex
him.
Juju. I would consider flexing Juju, but that's about it.
Yeah, like Kelsey is obviously the play here. So he's the wide receiver 1.
Hey,
he
got a good tight end. He got a good tight end.
He's not part of the 3 pillars.
Jamie, talk to us about the running backs then. CAH and Leonard Fournette.
I don't really want to, No. You play Fournette, obviously. He goes in every week. Whatever happens.
He kind of has to at this stage as well.
Yeah, he's 100% the running back there. You play Edwards there because he's being consistent at the moment. I do expect that to drop off at some point, but to be fair to the man, he's had 3 weeks, 3 consistent games, and if you've had him, you've been happy. He's done absolutely nothing wrong. He's actually the running back 4 at the moment. No one would have called that at the front. A guy I've actually picked up here is the backup running back for Tampa, Rashard White.
Yeah, I cited that, and I wanted to pick him up, you bastard.
Yeah, if Fournette goes down, they like White a lot there. They do an awful lot. If Fournette goes down at all,
yeah, it's a great fantastic. I was very envious of when I saw you got that one in.
Yeah.
The only thing I'd back with Fournette there is if you actually look at the 3 teams he's played, like Dallas's defense, solid. He's played the Saints defense. They're solid enough, and he's played Green Bay's defense, who are looking really good. So he's coming up against the Kansas City defense and I think he could.
How long do you give him before you cut him off and move on to the next thing?
So he just has shit opinions when he freezes, doesn't he?
We'll move on to the Rams 2-1 at San Francisco 1-2. I haven't had much exposure to Matthew Stafford this year, so I don't know what the owners of Matthew Stafford are feeling at the minute. But I think I'd be looking for a better option if I could on the waiver wire these days. Like if a Trevor Lawrence is sitting there, I might go and pick him up for next week.
Yeah.
I'm not feeling Matt Stafford. Cam Akers seems to have dethroned Henderson at this stage. We were firm believers in Henderson, but they seem to.
Hang on now a second. No. I said Akers would take over the backfield here, and you all told me no.
He had 60% of snaps last week, and what did Henderson have? Well, I don't know how Sleeper's doing their maths because they're saying that Henderson had 50% of snaps and Akers had 60% of snaps. So someone's lying to me somewhere.
It's 110% effort. That's what that is.
But yeah, Henderson only had 4 attempts last week, and I can hear Shane in the background. You're a Stafford owner. What do you think?
Yeah, I benched Stafford and got Tua. That's what I did.
Tua's up tomorrow.
As for the Henderson Akers debate, they've clearly come out and said it's a 50-50 split now, the way it's working. And Sean McVay, if there's one guy with the hot hand on the night, that's what he's going to go with. Henderson was having a slow night. It's not like Cam Akers did that better. It's just Cam Akers was better on the night than Henderson. But you have to believe they're going to go back to seeing, like Henderson had basically the whole first half to himself. Didn't do anything with it, and then Akers came in. So you have to believe that it's going to go the same way again. They're not just going to abandon Henderson. He is still going to be a viable option. It's just
probably going to be a horrible situation all season as the two of those guys.
Yeah, like Henderson for me now, what he is a guy who you're going to bring in off the bench for a bye week. That's what Henderson is at the minute. Next week, next week we could be sitting here saying Henderson had a 15-point week or a 14-point week. Do you flex him next week? What do we do? Like it's going to be a headache all year, but it could be a worthwhile one.
This question that we got in actually concerns the San Francisco running back, which we're going to talk about in a second. Jeff Wilson, he's in your starting lineup anyway. But Patterson, DJ Moore, and Jeff Wilson for Joe Mixon, Juju, and Akers. I smash except for Joe Mixon.
Yeah, I like Mixon.
Yeah, I don't know. Just...
Like Juju has, being a Kansas City Chief now, has the potential to get a lot of points. And DJ Moore, we've seen it with bad quarterbacks in the past with DJ Moore. He starts slow and he finishes very strong. So DJ Moore is a very annoying person to be on your team at the start of the year. Patterson is just Mr. Consistent at the minute. He does it in the run, he does it in the pass. And Akers is in this headache that we're talking about right now. So I think I side with the Joe Mixon side of things just because Joe Mixon is class. He's definitely the best player in the trade for me.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think I got the other side, to be honest, but like I think Patterson is on a par there with Juju and Akers. You don't know what you get with Juju. You don't know with Akers. You don't know what you get with Akers yet. Could take over that backfield. I think he probably will. But you know, if it's a 50-50 split, you're screwed for fantasy there. You're not getting nothing. So I think I actually take Wilson and Patterson. DJ Moore is a guy that you stash away. You know how good he is. You back the talent. Sometimes you just back the talent and just hold him on your bench for a while. Hope he gets better.
The wide receivers, Cooper Kupp and Debo, are straight into your lineup. Allen Robinson, I think you have to take your lumps and play him again this week.
It's a headache you don't want again. Like
he's being annoying, but I think you give him this week, and if he screws you again this week, he firmly makes his way to your bench until he shows you something better. Like he had a good week last week or 2 weeks ago. Sorry, this week sucked, and like this game against San Francisco, I think you just roll the dice again, and if it goes badly, he makes his way to your bench.
But it depends how Stafford plays. Joe Stafford was poor week 1. Robinson was poor week 1. He was good week 2. Robinson was good week 2. Crap last week. You know, so it depends how Stafford's going to play, how much you think Stafford is going to be, you know, get back to the heights he was last year. If he can get back to there, Robinson's a stash. You definitely flex him. Like,
I'm dropping Allen Robinson. I would right now. I would go out and get Greg Dortch and drop Allen Robinson. That is exactly, and that's not a joke. It's you're laughing, but I do not think Allen Robinson is that good. I think he was terrible at Chicago last year. People were saying, "Oh, he just needs a better quarterback." Well, he's got a better quarterback, and Stafford can't get the ball to him. Stafford took OBJ at his worst and went and won a Super Bowl. He's taken Allen Robinson at his worst and can't get the ball to him.
Yeah, but Stafford's very poor this year. Like.
Yeah, but it's easy to blame it on Stafford when the receiver doesn't get open and he's not doing his job. It's very hard for the quarterback to like just keep forcing balls down onto him. Like he's gone away from Robinson to go to Cooper Kupp because Cooper Kupp is getting open in double coverage. Allen Robinson's got one guy covering him, and half the time he can't even get free. So for me, I'm honestly saying I would get Greg Dortch off the waiver wire and get Allen Robinson off my team.
We'll just move quickly to the tight ends and just to finish the show. So Tyler Higbee and George Kittle, they're both in your lineups. Like there's no questions there.
Yep.
Yeah.
That brings us to the end. We the new video show kind of ran on an extra 20 minutes because we have all these nice drops and questions to answer.
That's so much fun.
All the drops. I was happy enough. This new video production goes pretty well. If you want to see the video production, if you're only listening to the audio and you want to see what this all looks like, go to the Irish Fantasy Punts on YouTube. You'll find us there on the channel. Subscribe to us and get us on Twitter at IF Punts as well. The video will also stream to there, so you can see our lovely mugs there as well and our beautiful dulcet tones over the stereos.
Yeah, feel free as well, guys, to get in questions during the week to the Twitter page. We'll answer what we can back, and when we don't get back to you, we'll try to come back on here with.
Yeah.
Jamie, nothing to add there?
Nothing to add there. You had it all, let's be fair.
We'll say our goodbyes then. We'll keep the music kicking off.
Adios.
Good, guys.
Good night, folks. Have a good one. You know, the worst thing is we have to stay here while it plays out now. Remember your mics are on before you start shouting stuff. Jamie, you're going to have to cut down this outro. It takes too long. Oh, good night again, folks.